and live.
Yeah,
Hello,
they don't
everyone.
because they get their clothing. It's just random. But it's just, if they started shipping to Canada again, because they do, but they
One of the categories he's running.
Yeah, so today we're going to be doing what's known as broken percent. And I know what you're thinking. Sonic 06 is already broken. Well, I mean, we know that, yes. We know this game is broken, but that's not what I mean by broken percent. Broken percent was kind of a joke category because at GDQ 2014, DSS found what was known as Mission Select Glitch. We'll get into what that is in a little bit. And they just asked him to do a run. And so he's just like, let me just do 2 stories together and make the file completely incompletable. So by the end of this run, we'll have a save file that cannot be completed further. It is literally unusable. So that's the whole point of what this is. This is comprised of 2 different categories, really. Sonic any percent and Silver any percent. So it's a fairly short one. It's pretty fun. You get to see 2 different stories, 2 different gameplay styles. And with that, I think we're pretty much ready to go. You good, Flubber?
Yep, I'm good.
Alright, so with that, let's begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, to begin with Sonic's story is, compared to Silver's story, a lot more movement-based, but if you're looking at, like, the different sort of major categories in Sonic 06, Silver's story is more glitch-based, Shadow's story is more movement-based, Sonic sits somewhere in the middle. And so Sonic's story has a nice little, like, skill cap. Flubber, you can talk a little bit more about this, if you'd like. About...
So Sonic's story has a lot of strats that you do. It's a little bit longer than Silver's story, generally speaking.
Both in any percent and no MSG, so...
Yeah, in both. Because you do the MSG much later, and you do...
I need something to juggle, like, while I just waste time here. It's good stuff, honestly. You can load screens are long. I just check my phone often when there are load screens. I think it's a habit for everyone to do something else during the load screens and just have them on in the background. It's like a fireplace at this point.
You know, later on when we get to Silver any percent, I also run Silver any percent. When I walk through Solana Forest, I just casually go through Twitter.
I don't know what you were about to say there, but okay, Flubler, okay. Misheard that for a second, but that's okay.
Scroll through Twitter.
Yeah, scroll. Yeah, so with Silver any percent, there's a 3-way tie for that currently, which is fun. Fun stuff. Both the any percent categories shown here are actually tied. So, that's something. Imagine 3 people getting the same exact time in a difficult story like Silver.
Yeah, it really goes to show how optimized both are, really.
Well, Silver's story any percent can go down to 1 minute, well, 11 minutes 19, but it's just that it's hard. It's a hard story.
It's also very inconsistent.
Yeah, this is a good place to just describe just like the run in general, I suppose, for now, because as soon as we get into Wave Ocean, the first stage of the run, we're gonna see some stuff. I'm gonna go for some dumb stuff because we love that sort of stuff. It's just quite something. But yeah, we're gonna go get the, what is it called? Air chip? No, not air chip. What is it called? Light chip. It's called airship in Shadow's story, which is weird. So Shadow goes through light rings with air and Sonic with light. This makes sense. But yeah, now we're here in Wave Ocean, and I'm gonna hand it off to Flubler here, who is probably the best when it comes to describing this trick known as Cave Skip. I'll try Cave Skip, then I'll do a loop launch.
Okay, so Cave Skip is a harder version of the original loop launch that was used like years ago. That would lead you straight like right behind the cave. But with this new loop launch, we are able to skip the whole cave and head straight to the springs that lead us to the automated section of.
No. Okay, I failed that. That was really close.
Yeah, that was close.
So, Loop Launch, essentially, this is a 360 exclusive glitch. If you don't know, I'm running on the Xbox 360 version of Sonic 06, for multiple reasons. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, Loop Launch is exclusive to the 360 because on the PS3 version... Oh wow, died again. This is a good stage. It's a great stage, Wave Ocean.
Oh, you went too high.
Don't worry. It's all for good fun. Yeah. Essentially what happens is there's like a homing attack like trigger on the loop, and effectively what happens is as we do this, Ah, almost perfect. Okay. What happens is, the game is expecting us to actually just contact at the loop at that point, but because we are angled in such a way that we actually don't finish it, the game just perpetuates the homing attack, like, consistently through until you hit another bit of collision. You want to hit the right bits of collision, not the wrong bits of collision, otherwise you die in a way you don't want. But yeah, that skips about half of the stage, I reckon? Yeah, yeah, about half the stage. I think that's fair to say.
You go straight to Tails' section after the other one.
Yeah, so after this section there's a bit of Tails, and Tails' flight properties are pretty interesting. If you'd like to talk about them, Flubber.
Alright, so Tails has a problem where if you hit the cap, like, because Tails is a flying cap, right? Like, when you hit this cap,
If you just hold A, yeah.
not go any higher, and he will just continue and not go as far. But if you're able to hit his cap and then let go, you're able to fly a bit longer and sustain its flight for a little bit more. So
I'm drawing a diagram in the air. That's working really well. Anyways, Mach Speed, the only one you'll see in the 90% run for Sonic. Mach Speeds are pretty interesting because most of the time you actually don't hold the control stick. So in this game, this lovely game, the thing is, the control stick actually enforces a speed cap. Certain things though, like the light ring trails here in the Mach Speed and dash panels after spin dashing, actually give you faster speeds than the control stick allows you to go. So what we try to do here is essentially time light dashes to guide us to the end that allows us to go much faster than we normally could otherwise. And from there, we're able to... You need to hold the control stick again at a certain point, otherwise you lose speed. So essentially if you hold nothing, and after a light dash, you get what we call speed 3, that only lasts for a certain amount of time. So you need to be able to know when to retouch the control stick to re-engage what we call speed 2, which is the speed you get where Sonic's arms are sort of closer to him. And then if you just flat out T-posing, that's speed 1.
it's a good time.
But yeah, from here we now get Serb clips. If you'd like to explain those, Flipper.
Alright, so Serb clips, basically, normally what you have to do is you have to go by...
Boney's like complicated physics. You haven't seen anything yet, Boney. I'm sorry. You haven't seen anything yet when it comes to complicated physics. We're gonna get to that in just a little bit.
Alright, so normally you have to go buy the anti-grav at the shop, kind of like you have to buy the light chip earlier, to go underneath a wall and talk to the girl. But you could skip that, of course. And how you do that is you click through the building by using a very precise spring perfect jump attack.
I'll take that. 2-1-1.
And then you get ooh, nice. 1-1-1. That's actually really good.
But yeah, essentially, what happens here is we have the loads. I'm actually going to play this cutscene. This cutscene is supposed to have stuff in it, but it's just a void. There's nothing here. So we're just going to see Sonic and Tails break through nothing and Eggman come through nothing to talk about nothing.
And we don't know why this happens, by the way, and we probably never will know.
I think I have an idea. I think so. The reason why these Serb clips are faster is because the mirror activates as soon as you talk to the girl. And as soon as you talk to the girl, effectively the game is then like, okay, I'm gonna instantly warp you to Dusty Desert. By that time, it hasn't loaded in the assets for this cutscene. I'm assuming those assets are loaded in once you load back to the hub world. So now you just have whatever the hell this is. You know, beautiful stuff. I just love how it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's like nothing. And normally this is supposed to be like some, like...
It's important. It's in like the Coliseum area, the area that you're actually in the fight.
In the Coliseum.
Yeah, we just wanted to show this. It's just, it's so good. Dramatic.
It's so funny.
But yeah, so Cerberus is like the one major point of RNG in Sonic's story, to be honest. There's a lot of... there is not much RNG in Sonic's story, to be honest. There aren't a few other stories, but Sonic's story is pretty good on the RNG. This boss is the one exception. Unfortunately, I've gotten a decent cycle if I don't die. So the issue with Sonic's X Cerberus is the Cerberus can do certain animations or patterns, and that means you are completely incapable of actually completing the boss if a certain pattern comes up within the first spin dash. You might literally be too slow for it to ever get up, even at the fastest speed at this point in the game.
It's 27. Good.
It's pretty good. Mid 27 is pretty nice. At first, so funny, Cerberus. You could do runs and not get a good Cerberus for like 3 times, and then it's just like, oh, you're doing a marathon? Here, where you've already wasted so much time. Here, have a good one. We'll throw you a bone.
Cerberus is very, yeah, can be bad. It's even worse than Shadow Story, though, so...
It kills the category in Shadow Story. Just completely kills it.
Because in Shadow Story, you're not able to homing attack the rails like you are with Sonic, so... yeah.
Someone had along. The game, by the way, you can buy a boxed copy of Sonic 06 for $30 brand new still. So, I mean, that's not actually that bad. Play the 360 version, though. The reason why you should play 360 is numerous reasons. First of all, we actually have faster load times than PS3 will ever get, because we download the game to our console. So you can actually select like a setting called install on the game settings in 360. And if you install the game to your console with 06, it actually improves each load time by 5 to 10 seconds. These are the fast loads. These are, if you're playing on PS3, this category would be about, I would give the estimate rather than 35 minutes, I would give it as probably 50. Because it's significantly longer, the load times alone.
I mean, it's possible on PS3.
That I'm actually not sure of. I just realized because of the setup of MSG.
I don't think I've seen anyone.
I don't know if it's actually possible. You're right. MSG might be a 360 exclusive glitch as well. So this category is literally impossible on PS3. But PS3 is just terrible. I have played this game for about 7.5 years.
Where I saw Darkspine Sonic make like an MSG video on PS3.
See, then we have not figured it out still. Oh, kind of. Overheating your console? If that's a reason you want us to give, overheating your console could work out.
I don't think it's overheating your console. We've tested many things for the loads in this game, such as playing the stages, like playing like the stages on like a completed file again, or sometimes after you do a slow loads run, you are able to get fast loads.
I can't hear you, Flubber, by the way. I'm actually listening for Silver right here.
Oh.
So you should probably explain the Silver fight.
Okay, so Silver, this boss is notoriously known for having the Game Grumps game over here like 4 times or something like that. Because of how stubborn Silver can be in capture. But in the speedrun, he is very, very easy to take care of. All you have to do is just make sure you go up to him, believe his premise, and then he will jump towards you, and that's your time to attack.
That was
so,
incredible.
yeah. And normally you get 25-6-3 with the normal Silver strats, but because we found a new strat recently,
yeah, I helped find it somehow. Because I'm not usually a Sonic runner, so this is something. Oh, Flub is quiet.
Wait, hold up. Is it better now?
I'll increase the desktop audio just to make sure.
Okay.
You are a bit quiet though.
Okay.
But yeah, now we have mission select glitch. Now we have the big skip to credits at this point in time.
Yes.
For Sonic's story. So you're gonna see some interesting setup right here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a thing that you can watch with your very eyes. So would you like to explain, Flevler, as I set up this?
So MSG in Sonic's story involves hitting this NPC named Galena over and over and over
Galliena,
again.
I would like to reply. Galliena.
Yeah.
But we call her
Galliena.
Galena because it sounds like some sort of weird yogurt brand or something.
But yeah, what you do is basically you homing attack her all the way to the water's edge, and once you reach the water's edge, you press X in order to activate her after dialogue and fall in the water at the same time, which will result you in having the text box when you die, and when you get respawned, you will still have the text box, and
The yes/no selection box, we should say. Any other text box will despawn.
Right. But when you have the mission select box, you are able to abuse it and use it to your advantage by going over to Captain and pausing and then unpause the next frame in order to get into Captain without accidentally pressing yes.
So now we're in a mission within another mission. We can access a mission within another mission.
And then you exit that mission, and then you do the other mission. I know it's very complicated, but yeah.
Yeah, so effectively at this point, I'm holding X to buffer an input. So if I pause the game in front of the Captain right here, which is the normally required mission to do at this point, unpause, use the Xbox home menu to buffer 1 frame, and then hold X again, I can talk to him without impacting the yes/no box. And notice that the Captain does not have a yes/no text box. This is actually really good because that means we can enter the mission without having to hit yes or no. And that allows us to keep it into another mission. So if I'm gonna try, I don't know, this is not gonna work, the load skip.
Are you gonna go for a
1, 2,
load
3,
skip?
4, 5. Nah, it didn't work.
Rip.
It was a bit too late. But yeah, so at this point we're actually gonna enter another mission while in this mission. And that's going to reset our base position. So when the game finishes a mission, at that point in time, the game is expecting you to go back to the thing you were last in, the last area, stage, hub, or whatever it is. At this point, it's now setting this mission, Mission 2, as the end point. With Mission 2 as the end point now, the game is going to try to load into a mission from a mission. And the game's like, we didn't expect that. Okay, sure. I guess you can do that. I guess you could do it if you want. And at that point, the game just uses a failsafe, which is loading the credits. So as soon as this is done, we're going to go to the credits for Sonic's story, and it'll be labeled as 100% complete, even though it's not. Which means you can't access any of the other stories. Or you can't access Shadow's story. You can't access any of the further stages in this section. You can't even access the power-ups.
You got 16.
That's not too bad. For a marathon run. Yeah.
That's 2.5 minutes behind record, so yeah, that's not too bad.
Thanks, Flubber, for the live comparison.
Right. Record's currently 13:39.
But yeah,
right.
At this point in time, we're going to Silver's story. So now we're going to completely just ruin ourselves over and make this file inaccessible to Shadow. So that means we're only going to be able to select Sonic and Silver, and there is no way to unlock Shadow. That's the premise of Broken Percent. To begin, though, oh, this isn't a good tello thing, but whatever. So to begin with Silver, we have Telefling, which is a glitch that is based on the object mechanics of Silver. Normally, Silver has 2 ways of interacting with objects. You can lift the object up on top of it, which is just like pressing RT on top of it, or you can pick the object up from afar. Certain objects you can pick up from afar while standing on top of them, and that basically forces the object to be pushed a set distance away and above from Silver. It also constantly rotates, so spheres like that are really useful because it means you won't fall off as easily. And that allows us to just fly come right on the object, and that means we can go all the way to the end of that section, which is normally like 3 minutes in less than, a minute. Now we have Blaze. Blaze is the second major playstyle in Silver's story. And she's actually a big part of Silver any %, so good for her. She's a pretty good playstyle in this game. So we have something called the Advanced Fire Call, which is actually based off the Spinning Call. I did not do that right. I'm going to try for it twice, and if it doesn't work here, then I'm just going to have to save it for later. Okay, I'll try one more time, because hey, why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So the Advanced Fire Call is based off the Spinning Call. We have such good naming conventions. The Spinning Call has 2 forms, one which is done in the air and one which is done in the ground. So if you have it in the air, it actually lasts longer. If you charge one up on the ground and let it go in the air, it actually lasts longer than the normal ground one can. But only on the ground does it actually maintain your speed, does it retain your speed. So there is a single frame after jumping where you can maintain your speed and get the duration of the airborne one, which allows you to do crazy stuff like that. We'll see it again in Wave Ocean Blaze. At this point, I've just done a frame buffered input at the start. So on the previous gameplay screen, I held X before I was going into the load. So that way I could let go of X on the load screen. That will buffer an X input on the first frame, or whatever button you hold, on the first frame of the next loading, like the next section you load into. And once you're done that, you can actually go around Silver's load trigger and finish the section as Blaze, which is faster because Blaze walks faster than Silver. If I was showing Silver no MSG, I would get to explain that Silver is actually faster than Blaze with glitches. There's a trick in Silver Story known as the extended teleport dash, which allows you to go really, really fast with just spontaneously, and it's really, really cool, but in any percent you don't get to see that. Either way, now we have Iblis. Who likes Cocoa Puffs? I want to make sure everyone likes Cocoa Puffs. It's important that you get your good breakfast. Iblis is object mechanics, effectively. So as Silver, there's really only two ways to fight anything. You have objects you can throw at enemies or to stun them. Bosses pretty much only have the former. So at that point in time, you need to be able to manage objects pretty well. So, you throw objects in the order you pick them up. So, for instance, I went to the right, or slightly there, to pick up the object that was further back, and then I picked up an object that was further to the left afterwards. That means it wouldn't destroy itself, which is good. We don't want that. And the other thing is you want to time your hits here, roughly. You want to time your hits, because if you fail to time your hits, the invincibility frames will screw you over, and that's never good. That was a pretty good Iblis one.
$42, nice.
Yeah, pretty good, actually.
Pretty good. 4 seconds off my world record.
Which I have. I got that in a run. Start to believe still.
Wait, really?
I think so. I think so. I can't remember. I know I got one of them in a run. Sorry, pretty great. She needed to say that in the voice, of course. Yeah, this is a Silver any percent is perfect. Like whatever it is. Silver any percent is probably the second easiest category to start learning in 06, I'd argue. Most people go like this: Sonic no MSG, Silver any percent. Those are the two largest categories I think in 06. Although I think Sonic any percent is a bit larger, but Silver any percent is probably the second easiest one to learn. Not if you're doing what I'm doing necessarily. There are easier strats that can guarantee you like a good time, like a 12-minute time. Because I'm gonna be doing some dumb stuff here. Because it's a run. Not in the hub world. But I'm gonna be doing. So so when you telefling, effectively the object is like, it thinks it's being a set distance away from Silver and up. It thinks it's being pushed away from Silver even though it's on it. We can then throw the object. Shadow no MSG is pretty easy actually as well, but it's not that well ran. It's not too well ran.
It seems intimidating because it's, you know.
The beginning of Shadow no MSG is brutal. It's very, very mean.
White Acropolis with the searchlights and
then Egg Cerberus. So the beginning of Shadow no MSG is pretty rough. But by the way, that's what MSG means. After Crisis City, it's pretty all right. The any percent for Shadow is kind of pointless because it does do MSG just about 30 minutes into the run. It does it 30 minutes into the run, which is normally 40 minutes. So like normally, by the way, if you weren't doing MSG for Silver and Sonic, these categories would be about an hour each.
Yeah.
So
Silver's would be a little shorter though.
It cuts it down a little bit. Okay, I was trying the telelaunch there, but basically the telelaunch, how it works. The telelaunch is based off your telefling. So if you're teleflinging on an object, you can then throw it while you're on top of it, and once that's done, the game perpetually keeps it now in its thrown state. And so now when it's thrown, it has a higher acceleration tolerance. It's just like, oh, I want to go fast because I've been thrown. And at that point in time, you can lift it up as if you were on top of it normally. And at that point, the game just launches it skyward. I might as well show it off on this orb right here. Normally you're supposed to do a telefling on this one and then like just get to the end. But if you hit it like I did, there we go. This isn't meant to happen, but whatever. It's not gonna respawn, is it? Because it's gonna be stuck. No, it's okay. So once we respawn this, soon,
man.
maybe? Thank you. If I then do a telefling on it, and then throw it, and then lift it, it sends it skyward. And that is really useful for getting a lot of vertical height really quickly. In certain later stages, you really want this, but if you do it off the box at the very beginning, because Silver hovers quicker than he walks, it means you can get a much faster time on this stage. However, on boxes, it's much, 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 much harder than on spheres because the object rotates. You only have the time you have when you're on top of the object to actually do anything, and at that point, you're just going, well, I hope I get the 1 second window that I need. I hope the object doesn't, ruin me. But yeah, at this point we have Blaze Wave Ocean, which is the last actual stage of the run entirely for Broken Percent. I have done yet again another frame buffered input at the beginning here, and at this point we're going to break out of the automation to then go onto the loop, and we're going to do yet another loop launch. This is again 360 exclusive, so if you play 06, please play on 360. It's just significantly better.
Can it be true?
It's the same sort of setup, except as Blaze, her Fire Claw, which is the homing attack sort of move, operates a little bit differently to Sonic's. We actually can't buffer this, so I have to like jump. I have to align myself roughly to the cave over here, and just time it right. Oftentimes this kills any percent runs for Silver because this is a very hard trick. Oh. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. That's the same principle as in Sonic's story. But now we're going to do an AFC off of this. Okay, rails are really hard because the AFC is done by releasing X after holding X, and yet you have to spam X to build up speed on a rail. So you have to both spam... You have to, like, rhythmically tap X and also hold X and also release X. I don't know how this works. It's really annoying to get, though. And if we get it right, let's see if it's fake or not. Oh, it's fake. Okay. So what I mean by fake AFC is it doesn't have the duration, but it has the speed. So if I...
Stops.
Yeah, if I just try to get this right...
If that happens.
Hopefully this is real. Okay, this one is real, which means we can skip on water with the speed of the rail and allows us to clip through here. Oh, clip. This is just completely vacuous in the actual one. You could just jump over there if you had the height. It allows us to see up all the way to the goal ring.
Oh yeah, also can't you... Is it possible, like, you can get, like, hung up before the islands?
Can't complain.
Yes. If the game is just like, I don't want you to finish the stage. This game has a lot of just uncertainties all around, to be honest. It doesn't make sense, but we love it for that. We're actually looking into the code of the game to figure out some of these things, and Godspeed to us, honestly. We need it. Anyways, MSG and Silver story, unlike Sonic's, is actually simpler. Pretty much, as you can see, Silver is more complicated in just general movement and a lot of tricks. Whereas, if for any percent, and the MSG is really easy. Whereas in Sonic's story, it's sort of the other way around. There are some complicated tricks in Sonic's story for sure, but general movement's a bit easier for Sonic. And then you get to MSG and you're like, okay, I'm just going to attack this girl for 2 minutes. Just let me make sure I can attack her so I can die. That's definitely a statement I want recorded for history. But yeah, we're just going to hover over here. By the way, reason I have the camera held down is to prevent lag. If I held the camera up, the game would spawn more stuff in and lag. Same reason why I did it in Tropical Jungle. Did not mention that, sorry. Yeah, we're just going to go over here to, what's his name? Porta, our favorite Mission 6 boy. And he's actually in just the right position so that we can hover, hold X in the air, and die. No! Same principle, I'm holding X to buffer an input later. We have Porta over here, holding the camera down to reduce lag yet again. And at this point, we just have to go over to Mission 8, a normally required story mission, and yet again, it's another mission that doesn't have a yes-no text box. We can enter it by buffering an X input, because if we buffer an X input on one frame, it will not register on the yes-no text box, but will actually interact with NPCs.
But the difference between this MSG and Sonic's MSG is that you don't actually do the mission.
You'll see what happens here. I wanted it to be a surprise. Come on. So you actually, all you need to do to fulfill MSG is to just load out of it. So in Sonic's story, it's just, for that mission, because it's so short anyways, Who's the Captain is really, really, really short. It's just like, okay, well, just complete it. It's a second. But in here, we actually don't have the option to complete it or not, as you'll shortly see. So we're loading into mission 6, and then we load back into mission 8. It then loads the coordinates from mission 8. Or sorry, mission 6. In mission 6 here, it's spawning us at a different point in a different hub world, and so it's just like, load us here. Load us into the Endless Void, and as soon as this is over, as soon as he dies and we get another load prompt, the run is done. So, enjoy this. Enjoy the Silver Falls into the thing, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 broken %, basically. Under 30 minutes. That's pretty decent. Pretty decent.
Yeah, I think Darkspine Sonic are like 33 something. And
So technically this is world record, but anyway, Silver will die right now. Love timing that.
Yeah.
That is the end of broken % right there. So there we go. 29-23 on my end.
Nice.
Pretty good. Yeah, so notice how we have both of them completed at 100%. They're actually going to load into the stage as, like, this area as it is at the end of the game. So that means we can do Aquatic Base and Egg Wyvern as Sonic, and we can do Kingdom Valley, Flame Core, and Iblis 3 as Silver. But we can't actually unlock any of the power-ups for them, so we'd be basically going off of what we have here. So for instance, if I go to like the shop as Sonic, it's only going to have the things we've actually gotten from this point in time. I don't know if it corrects itself after you play through, but... Oh wait, no, it does have all the power-ups. I didn't know that. Okay, I honestly thought it didn't because Silver didn't, but whatever. Anyways, we now have a glitch exhibition to show off, don't we?
That's gonna be exciting.
Okay, so I'm gonna put 15. How do you inverse timer? How do I inverse timer? I'm just gonna use my phone to show a 15 minutes worth of stuff. This will be fun.
50 minutes.
15.
Oh, I thought you said 50.
50. 50, dude. No. No way we're doing 50.
I legit thought you said 50.
By the way, I want to just thank everyone for donating to this cause. You know, everyone's been impacted by COVID-19, so I think it's a really good thing. Please make sure to donate as much as you can. Doctors Without Borders, or the French version, which French hurts my throat. The actual name of it. That can, just make sure you're donating properly. RagingCherry's had a good marathon here so far. I'm so happy we've actually passed halfway through the goal already. So this is going to be a good one, I think. Yeah, now that I'm here, we're going to start the glitch exhibition. So I'm actually going to give you a taste of what the no MSG categories are like. So in Silver's story at this point, you would be basically completing like... you would have to be completing the trials, which are 3 missions at the very end of the game. And after you're done them, it'll load this eagle, who will take you up to the top of Kingdom Valley. So the missions aren't that long, to be honest. They're pretty decent. They're, like, not too decent in length, but the load screens are so long that instead of doing all that... I don't have the teleport dash, by the way, which is the most broken trick in Silver. It is the most broken power-up because you can literally go, like, really fast with it. So instead of doing that, all these missions, like the 3 missions, and just doing through the load screens there, we're going to use something called LEs. I didn't actually explain what these were, even though I used them. So, levitation extensions are, due to the fact that the stun slap move has really weird momentum properties. So the stun slap, the thing that allowed me to skip on water when I shouldn't have skipped on water there, it maintains the momentum of whatever the thing you hold at its last frame of animation is. So for instance, in the jump there, if you're just holding X, it will store the momentum of the jump, and then the water reverses it. In the air, we can actually hold X on the final frame of the animation for hovering, and that will maintain our hover speed. So with that, we're able to regain our bar because the stun slap is programmed to actually regain your bar. This is because it expects you to have something known as the shock bracelet, which is a sort of ground pound stun move. And at that point in time, it's just like, okay, we know you don't actually have this, but we're just going to regain your bar anyways, and everything in Silver Story is pretty much dependent on the action gauge. So with that, we're able to maintain our speed up this wall and just climb up it constantly. So there are 3 walls that are part of Trial Skip. This is the second wall, and it's arguably the most generous. Notice that the collision isn't exactly what you see, so you need to memorize sort of just the actual collision of this in order to do it. Once I get it high enough height, I can then lightly tap to conserve my action gauge over to here, which is the 3rd wall. Thank you, White, for backing me up here. You can go over to this third wall here, and then you need to do about like 10 in a row to maintain on this, to stay on this wall. This is not an easy trick. This kills most silver runners, and most people don't run silver because of this trick. I really like this trick because I know how to do it now. And that can guarantee me a pretty good time in silver, because it saves, if done really fast, it saves about 3 minutes over the normal strats. On average, it saves about 2. So just because the load screens are so long, we get to do all of this, staying up this very steep wall. So this wall is significantly steeper than the others. I'm falling much faster and I'm not getting much height when I do an LE, but I'm still getting enough bar to stay on the wall and live another day. Note that in Silver Story, obviously, you wouldn't have the eagle unlocked from the beginning, because if we have the eagle unlocked from the beginning, there's no point. You need to complete the 3 missions to unlock the eagle. Once we get up here, we need to recharge one more time. Yeah, the wall is sort of weird here. There's like a slight right slant. Like, you want to like align yourself such that you're going like straight up, but not like too far right or too far left, or else you'll slide off or get hit by the ceiling. Yeah, once I get enough height, or enough bar here, I can just lightly tap A to get a little bit more height, and then hover over to this pillar. And once we're over to this pillar, we can then regain one last time, and that will be Trial Skip. That kills runs, and I'm so glad I got to show it off. Yeah, we regain on here, and then we hover over here. And the mirror is still active, if you don't know. The mirror is still active. We call it by active mirror means that if we touch it, we go to King of Battle. And that's actually active before any of the missions are completed. Also, you get Dead Blaze, so that's a little taste of no MSG for Silver. To show off a little bit of a taste of no MSG for Sonic, no mission select glitch, what you see later in the run. For Sonic, I'm actually going to go over to one of my files here. And we're going to show off Egg Cerberus. So... not Egg Cerberus, excuse me, Egg Wyvern. So would you like to explain Egg Wyvern,
Yeah.
Flubler?
Yeah.
Or try to explain.
Okay, so Egg Wyvern, normally it's like a 3-minute, 4-minute stage that you do.
Fastest casually has been a 2 minutes and like 30 seconds, and that's a really clever workaround.
Okay. And there is a glitch we could abuse with the Sky Gem in order to beat this boss in 5 seconds.
Done. Yeah, that's it. That's the final boss, everyone.
Yep.
There is a load trigger there that's only active for about 3 seconds. And you can just Sky Gem to it after you homing attack the horn. So that's literally it. That's the final boss of Sonic No MSG. That's what you get. It doesn't make any sense, but we love it. Anyways,
and
next... Sorry, you go on.
And there's many different methods of doing this. In fact, you could probably pull out your Xbox right now, or PS3. I think this is possible on PS3, right?
I think it's possible on PS3. DSS playback in PS3.
You can do the 49-second method pretty easily.
Yeah, there's... So that was like one of the first
watch a
tricks
video
I
and
found.
pull out your system, and you could do it. Like, it is...
It's pretty easy.
That easy.
Yeah, now I'm here in Shadow's Dusty Desert to show off a few little things. I'm going to try to get what's known as Flip and Clip. It's like, so as Shadow, you're not only supposed to be able to exit this vehicle, but once you're on this vehicle, you can flip it over, and the game is like, well, you can't do anything. You're flipped over. I guess I have to let you explode. So if I can get this set up right, that might work. Okay, sure. So now we're out as Shadow, no longer inhibited by our thing, and there are these rings here. So remember at the end of Dusty Desert Sonic, there was a ring trail? Well, the game programmed that same ring. The programmers basically just took those rings, moved them over in physical position, but let the light dash still stay there. So now we're at the end of Sonic section with Shadow. There's no goal ring there, but I mean it's fun. It's hilarious they didn't even look at that. And there's also, for whatever reason, I think this is to avoid exploration as in the hovercraft. But like there's like a metal panel of stuff here, like just barbed wires, which do hurt you. It's just here. And I could just die a Shadow. I'm actually gonna try to show, let me just see how much time I have. 7
What?
minutes.
I didn't know it was there.
7 minutes. Okay. I'll just keep on going still. We have enough time to show multiplayer. So the surprise I have for you guys is multiplayer. Multiplayer is a broken mode.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, before then, I'm going to show something called result skip. So did you know you can end the results early in Sonic 06? You can end the results early, and it's faster. And this is a confirmed way to do it. This isn't faster for RTA, unfortunately, because the clip out takes so much time. But yeah, this is flip and clip. You basically explode, and then just clip through the store with a pause clip. What? I'm not aligning my angle right. As soon as we get through there, that's the end of the section. Normally, you're supposed to go through, like, these little pillars, and they're like, okay, you know, let's go. You've gone around a racetrack, basically. We're so proud of you. But instead, you can just go like, okay, I want this to explode. Let me clip through door, and that works.
It's just
yeah.
a bit further.
I'm gonna just do this. This is fun. This is actually faster for RTA as well, if you get that, because it's so fast. This is what I mean by the dash panels giving speed if you don't hold the control stick. They give faster speed than the control stick normally allows you to go, so you can use that mechanic on dash panels, on other things. Once we're here, normally you would clip through here and just skip all of Omega section, but I'm actually going to play as Omega here. I'm going to destroy these two enemies. Omega is also the fastest character in the game in terms of base walking speed, if you don't know. Omega is faster than Sonic, Omega is faster than Blaze, Omega is faster than Knuckles, Tails, everyone. And so Omega's base walking speed can actually be used to clip through pretty much anything with the right geometry. So if I align myself here with these boxes and try to clip out, hopefully this won't take too long. Yeah, okay. I can then hover over underneath the stage and over to here. So basically, for some reason, this, like, I don't know why this happens, but at this point in time, we now are able to finish the stage with Omega and break out of the gold ring. So once we're here, we can just go around. I'm going to actually load in some of the enemies earlier, so we load in a text box. So the text box in these games have a fade-out animation, so they have like an animation flag set on them. So it's like, okay, once text finishes, roll out the fade-out animation, or the fade-down animation. I believe this is the reason why. We haven't been able to verify it, but effectively, you can, once those, so both, at the end of the result screen as well, it has a fade-out animation. And I believe, essentially, triggering a text box on the result screen effectively sets that same flag to happen. So, before we even get the rank, if this text box loads properly, okay, let's charge ahead. And then it just fades out before you ever get the rank. And that saves time. We had no idea this was actually a thing in any way, shape, or form. The person who found it was someone known as Gordon Ramsay. Yes, he actually came from the Hotfix run. And he was playing on emulator. And we were like, what? This has to be an emulator bug. There's an emulator called Xenia for 360 games. People tend to run that if they can't run anything else. And we were like, this doesn't work. This isn't like a real thing, right? I'm not showing the lamb sauce right now. That's too hard. But anyways, multiplayer time. I'm gonna play Battle so that we can show off a lot of different stuff. So at this point, multiplayer is just broken. Is really broken. Like, extremely, extremely broken. Like, to a point that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go ahead and set up a few things. One of these things was found by someone called Vex Video Productions, so thanks to him for breaking this game further. We always appreciate what people do in this game. We still have an active community. I know it's hard to believe. But, I'm gonna play Sonic for this. I'm just gonna destroy these enemies. Notice how there aren't, some animations are just gone. They're like nowhere to be seen. They're just flat out gone. I'm gonna go over here and activate a checkpoint as Sonic to show off a few different glitches. So the red gem, normally in gameplay, slows everything else down by half, even Silver. Silver's slowed down by half. Everything is slowed down by half except Sonic. So if I die while holding the red gem in multiplayer, what that does is, it actually doesn't correct for that properly. It sets everything back to 1 speed by multiplying the speed of everything by 2. And so now, Sonic is at double speed. Everything he does is at double speed, and this means you can just clip through things by just, like, homing attacking. Like a regular homing attack. I don't know if I can do it in this stage, but I can definitely... Oh, can I? I'm getting... Yes! You can just, like... Sonic's at double speed. All his animations are double speed. He's physically at double speed, and it just is, like... You know, it's good. It's good. And then we get the speed shoes, and he just goes like this. So now I'm actually gonna die as Sonic, in this stage, in Wave Ocean. I'm gonna die so that so this actually lasts until you hold the red gem again. So also, if I hold the purple gem, which is a gem that makes Sonic tiny and jump infinitely. By the way, these gems were supposed to be limited in terms of how much you could use them. But because the bar wasn't programmed properly, it isn't. Now with the purple gem, I have a weird camera angle constantly set. So you get this, the true experience. I'm gonna go ahead and die and deactivate both of these, though. I'm just gonna... Sonic's on normal speed. I'm now gonna die as Silver. And this is something we call... I'm not gonna actually name it yet, because it would suck if we didn't have a name. But look at this, SVT is really fun. You can just fly as Silver now. Yeah, if I go over here and die as Sonic again, Silver and Sonic are now at the same location, like the same exact position. So at this point, the game is just like, sure, make Sonic tiny and slightly flat. As you can see, he's slightly flat and tiny. And now we get this. And if I pick up Sonic again... Oh, wait, no, I don't want that. That was not the one. I think he's still slightly flat. But, yeah, I think he tapped. Let me try that again. This trick will last until Sonic actually moves again. So if Sonic actually moves again... I'm not getting the thing I want, but... Oh, yeah, this too. Oh, you have to jump as Sonic, actually, to get that, but... Yeah, now Sonic's tiny. And he's flat, slightly. And everything he does is really weird, like you get oval here. But now I'm just gonna... So it's pretty neat, you can keep that, actually. I'm gonna show it as Shadow, I guess, in a bit. I need to see how much time I have. I have 2 minutes. So, just to finish this section off, in the multiplayer mode, remember how I mentioned that, like, for some reason the game has weird physics properties that just go, okay, I'm gonna retain your momentum, for no reason whatsoever? So, one of those is here. One of those is here. As Silver, in the multiplayer mode, you can actually throw Sonic. And that basically, I don't really know why this happens, but if I, like, align, I'm gonna get Sonic as the purple gem here. And that allows me to just basically align at the right height. And I'm going to try to throw Sonic to the end of the stage, if I do this properly. I'm going to get it the right height. And then I'm going to hold X. Hold X and throw X as Silver. By the way, if you... yeah, and then this will just let Sonic bounce. That was not a good throw, but... because you can actually hit to the very end. No! Ah, it was so close. That was so close. The end is right there, but yeah, that's fun. Also, if you actually spam the purple gem during that, you get some really funky camera angles, so I'll show that off now as well, because it's fun. So now if I jump as Sonic, facing Silver, and then I activate the purple gem, you now get a point of view perspective of Silver throwing you, which is really funny to me. And I throw him as Silver, and then I just mash the purple gem really, really like a lot. The camera does not know what to do at all. The game is just like, what is happening? It's like the glitch city in San Andreas. The game is just having a great time. Oh, we're here, by the way. We're gonna be dead. But yeah. I'm gonna go back to one last thing in this multiplayer mode, and then we'll be done. I'm gonna show off Dusty Desert, in the multiplayer mode because it's good. It's a good stage in multiplayer. Actually, no, I should show off the glitch's Shadow, but yeah, I'll just show off the glitch's Shadow because I can't really show the Dusty Desert fully. So let's just go to Dusty Desert. You can do the same flat trick as Shadow because you can, and with that, you then get something really comical, which is really good. Trust me when I say it's good. I'm going to get to a checkpoint. I'm going to do it as Silver, so you can see some of Silver's movement. So Silver in the late game has the extended teleport dash as an option, but because we skipped the shock bracelet, we actually have the extended the super extended teleport dash, or SETD, which allows us to go like this. And this is what I mean when I say Silver is now the fastest controllable character in the game. This is fast. It is a single frame as well, much like with the levitation extensions. But because it's the same frame each time, that just means you can like memorize, like muscle memory it pretty easily, to be honest. And I can also go around here, just go here to the end. If I had Sonic or Shadow, I could just throw them to the end here. The end is over there. But I'm actually gonna die and show the flat shadow glitch really quick. So the funny thing about shadows is, so yeah, this is really flat, as you can tell. But as Shadow, he can do something called Chaos Spears. And now the Chaos Spear is like comically large. It's like he's a tiny bab, and the Chaos Spear is just really good. It's really good. But yeah, that is the glitch exhibition basically in Sonic 06. So, with that, that's been 06. I thank you guys for having both me and Flubber on in Memeathon. If you want to follow me for my 06 content, I'm at twitch.tv/FocusSight. If you want to follow Flubber, what is your Twitch name?
It's just Fubbler.
It's not. I thought it had an underscore in it. But yeah. Please make sure to keep supporting Memeathon. There's really good stuff happening right here. Thank you, RagingCherry, for having us. Thank you, everyone on the staff, for helping us. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Wish you guys a good day, night, morning, evening, whatever it may be. And yeah.